Number 29. Do you want to improve the world? I don't think it can be done. The world is sacred. It can't be improved. If you tamper with it, you'll ruin it. If you treat it like an object, you'll lose it. There is a time for being ahead, a time for being behind, a time for being in motion, a time for being at rest, a time for being vigorous, a time for being exhausted, a time for being safe, and a time for being in danger. The master sees things as they are, without trying to control them. He lets them go their way and resides at the center of the circle. Resides at the center of the circle. And that's what we find when we show up to our practice. We find the center. And from the center, we allow things to go their own way. Sometimes things go the way of a global pandemic. This is new for us in the Western world, but this is not new in other parts of the world currently, and certainly not through history. So I thought about that and reflected upon the great teachers and sages and saints that have gone before us and left the texts and the teachings and the way things were when they were alive. Famine, pandemic, war, chaos, violence, and yet they still found a time to abide at the center of the circle and let things go their way. And now we're faced with some things we didn't plan for. But that's the way it goes. And the degree to which we've steeped ourselves in our practice before all this happened is the degree to which we're not surprised by what's happening now. Because one of the insights that we gather from the practice, from the meditation practice, is impermanence. This knowing in our bone marrow that nothing lasts and that things can always change and do change and will change. So when we spend time in solitude with ourselves, sitting every day, contemplating impermanence, the boat does not get rocked the way it does for others who are not fortunate enough to have discovered these practices that we commit to. I don't pay so much attention to the news intentionally, consciously. And so I was very much in the dark about this whole thing until last week or so. And as it really started to land that this is real and could be serious, I got rocked. I quarantined myself and I neglected some of my practices, my daily routine wasn't as robust as it typically is. And I wallowed for a day or two. I think it's worth mentioning that we have to know, we have to allow ourselves the permission, give ourselves the permission to feel what's coming up and also to distinguish between what's ours and what we are feeling through the collective. There's a word that might sound esoteric, the psychosphere, the collective feeling vibration of a mass of people. It's a real thing. The biosphere is a real thing. The atmosphere is a real thing. The stratosphere is a real thing. And so is the biosphere. So if we're practicing sensitivity and stillness, then it's only natural that we would be affected by what's happening in the collective. And that's what happened to me. And I allowed that. And then after a day or two of fear and uncertainty and doubt, I found this strength and this deep calling back to my practice and this aha epiphany that, oh, this is what we are built for. This is what we've been practicing for. This is an opportunity to be of service. People need us. People need our practice. Even if we stay in our apartments or our homes and not go outside, your practice is still service for the collective. And so I felt this deep call to show up, to be about it. And I felt so fortunate, like I said, to have these practices have already been a part of my life for a long time. And I couldn't imagine just living the way I lived for a day and a half in fear and doubt and anxiety. I couldn't imagine living that way with no refuge from it, with no practice that I could use to ground my body and my mind, find the center of the circle. So us lucky few here in this time have these tools and these techniques and these practices that we can commit to for ourselves to hold the space for our own uncertainty and doubt and fear and anxiety, and for the people who depend on us, the people that we see every day, and for the people that we won't see. What is our contribution to the collective in this time of uncertainty?